Hey, this is Brian with worshiptutorials.com. Today I have a POD HD500x Patch for you to download, and I'm just going to play just a little bit of it so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll go through all the patches. So this is just clean with no effects. So a little bit about how I play. We have a few other patches that Nick has put up and demoed for us here at Worship Tutorials. Nick is a lead guitar player and he plays with me, and so I wanted a patch that was made more kind of for rhythm. I do a lot of just rhythm strumming stuff because I'm singing and leading worship a lot, so I don't play lead a lot, and Nick does. So this patch, I feel, really complements the other patches that we have available. And I'm not going to play any crazy lead stuff, mostly because I can't, and I'm just going to show you what this does and how I use it on Sunday. So let's just start from the top. It's based on the HWY100 amp model from line 6. That is a high watt model. High watts are interesting. They're kind of based on Marshall amps, but they're really their own kind of animal. And I really like the way this one sounds. It sounds pretty cool. It is a fairly clean amp on the POD. So like we played earlier, this is just the amp with, actually there's a compressor on in the front of it, but it's just the amp with a comp. That's middle pickup position, bridge. Neck. So as you can tell, I have this thing set so that it's pretty clean in the neck and the middle position, but when I flip it to the bridge position, this pickup is, these are Porter pickups, the custom vintage set Telecaster pickups, and the bridge bites a little bit. When you dig in, you get a little dirt. Now you can also lay off of it, and it's a little cleaner. So I've found as a worship leader that I don't like to do a lot of pedal dancing, so oftentimes what I will do is I have a couple drive pedals on this patch. I'll usually put one of them on for a lot of songs, and I'll either use volume or I'll just use a softer pick attack for clean stuff, and then I'll dig in a little more if I want some more grit, and then I'll just flip it to the bridge position if I really want to get big. And it really is a versatile way to play, because you don't have to worry about what's on the ground with your feet. You can just do it all with your hands. I just feel like it frees me up mentally, especially when leading in that way. So let's go through the patch and I'll show you what we have. So we'll zoom into a view of the POD that make it bigger. Okay, so the first thing in the patch, we have the volume pedal. It's mapped to expression number 2. So here you can see it's off. Just volume pedal. It's the first thing in the chain. Next we have the compressor. It is the Veta Juice comp. I like the way it sounds. Yeah, it's always on in this patch. It's not even mapped to a button. So the next thing that we run into is the drive section. So the first drive pedal that I have is the Overdrive model. And then I have the color drive. So let's go through the Overdrive. I have these both set so that they're pretty low drive. You can see drive on that one is at 20%. There are the settings. If you want to, you can sort of pause the video and take a look at the settings that I have on it. But low drive, high output, and it sounds like this. So here is without, this is just middle pickup position. You also notice that it's fairly responsive to pick attack. So that is the overdrive. Moving on, foot switch 6 is the color drive. So here it is off. It also is fairly responsive to pick attack, which I like. So you can, if you want, put them both on at the same time, though I think it kind of gets a little mushy. And on overdrive, this is a lesson I need to learn. Less is kind of more. If you get too much overdrive, it really does muddy up your sound. But here we go. This is both of them on. Well, both of them off. Overdrive. Color drive and overdrive. Maybe if you're doing lead stuff, it would be a little more suitable. So, yeah, but that's both of them on. So moving on from the drive section, we go into the amp, which I said was a HWY100. There you can see I'm using the 412 greenback cabinet. And then after the amp, we hit some delays. So the first thing I have is a digital delay with mod. That is mapped to foot switch number 3. And it's a dotted 8th note delay. So it sounds like this. So obviously it depends on the tap. So our tap tempo over here. Dotted 8th note delay. The next delay we have is the digital delay with mod again. This time it's quarter note. It is mapped to foot switch number 2. About 4 repeats, so you get about a measure of delay, a little more. And I leave that delay on most of the time actually because it kind of sits. So if you're playing some rhythm stuff, it really doesn't get in the way. It just kind of helps fill out the sound, give it a little bit of a wash underneath. You can't obviously put them both on at the same time. And they kind of build up over time. So those are the delays. After the delay, you hit some reverb. So the first thing I have is a room reverb. It is mapped to foot switch number 7. And it's just a basic, sort of always on kind of reverb sound. So here it is without. And you might not be able to really hear a difference, but if you... It's not a big reverb, it's not an ambient reverb, it's just to make it sound like the amp is actually in a... Alright, so the next reverb we have is mapped to foot switch 4. It is Particle Verb. Particle Verb, I think, might be Line 6's best algorithm they've ever made. It's really cool. I have an Eventide space on the pedal board that I use with my amp when I play with an amp, and the space has really awesome sounds. I wish Eventide made Particle Verb because then it would be in the space and I would use it. But it is a great ambient reverb. So you can set it to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I have it set to be very ambient, but I don't have it set to do like nearly as much weird stuff that it can do. But here it is, I'll show you. This is Particle Verb off and on. Now you can hear it. It's sort of, I have it set so it's sort of subtle. It doesn't really take over your sound. It sits underneath it. It kind of swells in. And if you download this patch and use it and you want more sort of ambient feel to it, you can obviously just dial it in a little more and give it more of the particle verb. But I like it, and I like the way it works with some of the drives and stuff. So here I'm going to turn on sort of a combination of one of the overdrives, just the regular room reverb, particle verb, and both the delays. And it's a cool sound, and it sounds like this. Yes, it's just kind of a big, it's not like a true ambient player's kind of a sound, but it will give you some ambient sounds. So, and if you, and I use it too, like on some lead type stuff. Let's say we're gonna do Our Great God. I kind of fake this lead line in the beginning, and it's. But you get the idea. It sounds good. It's got a cool sound. That's about as lead as I get, so it works for me. But if you're a rhythm player, I think this patch will work very well for you. It sort of covers all the bases that I need just for basic songs. If you want to do really weird stuff, you certainly can with the pod, but not necessarily with this patch. So yeah, check it out at worshiptutorials.com. You can hit the link. You can go grab it there. It is free to download if you'd like to get it for free. It's sort of a pay what you want thing, but there's no minimum. So just put 0 in the price field. Don't feel bad about it if you do. Download it for free, use it, and if you'd like to leave us a tip, you can do that as well, and we appreciate it. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.